24th, 25 Urban Renewal Agency meeting. We'll do a roll call, please.
Board Chair Letts,
Here.
Board Member McDougall,
Here.
Board Member Prieden,
Here.
Board Member Ross,
Present.
Board Member Pellerin.
Here. All right, thank you. Is there any visitor communication for the URA? If you can state your name and your physical address before any public comments, thank you.
Patty Cordoni, P.O. Box 3500. I'm here to speak about the roundabout artwork and the landscaping that's proposed to go in interacted. It is clearly stated in our Constitution that people are in charge. We, the people, have the right to request the decision regarding the roundabout artwork to be put to a vote, a public vote. While we recognize that the deadline for initiating a citizen's petition for the November ballot has passed, we would have pursued that route had time permitted. In light of this, we respectfully ask that you place this matter before the public, just as you did with the previous artwork decision earlier this year, before you go into contract for landscaping and spend the taxpayers' money. If the majority vote is yes, we look forward to working with you to move forward with placing the statue in the roundabout. If the majority vote is no, we support your staff continuing with the formation of an artwork committee to explore alternative options. Thank you for consideration and for honoring the voice of the community.
Thank you. None other? Okay, thank you. All right, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, our second item here is US 20 Locust Landscape Project, and Paul Bertagna will walk us through that.
Paul's in the house.
Yeah,
You left your torpedo in the other room.
It's sandwich.
Sandwich.
oh, the torpedo.
Yeah.
So this project, we put it out to bid in August. We received 3 bids. One from a Valley contractor, 2 from Central Oregon Contractors, and Rickabaugh Construction was the low bid. The 2 low bids were very close. They're about 2% apart. So even though well over the landscape architect's budget estimate, which was, I think it's about 30% over, having both those bids being pretty competitive, told us that that's probably where, for this project this size, that's where it's going to land. And it's a lot of area out there. I mean, we're talking 62,000 square feet, so about 1.4 acres. And this is fully landscaped with, you know, about 800 plants, a lot of trees, boulders, rock mulch, full irrigation system. Irrigation system leaves some room to negotiate with the contractor to value engineer that. We went with all PEX plumbing, even on the laterals, just because we've had such good success with it. But we also learned that it's about 4 times more expensive than PVC. So after talking with the contractor and the landscape architect, there's opportunity to value engineer that, as well as we have a lot of 3-gallon potted plants. We could use 1 gallon, take a little bit longer to get the same growth to the same size, but it's about a quarter of the price. So we looked at some different options for reducing the cost of this with the contractor in the LA, and there are options out there. So, but with that said, The amount of money that we had budgeted for this from the urban renewal fund was 225,000. That included design. So with this construction contract, we're looking at being over that budget by about 78,000, which would require a supplemental budget to do that. And this is completely separate from the artwork. It's the landscape portion of the work that you guys budgeted for last July.
So Paul, this includes the areas on either side of the roadbed, next to the school, former school, now the recreation center, the areas over by where the lightning struck the tree,
Yep.
and the approaches almost all the way back to Jefferson,
All the way back to Jefferson,
and out in front of the gas station, as well as my brain just froze, but as well as
Restaurant, yep.
restaurant. Thank you.
Yep.
So it's significantly more than the mound of dirt in the middle of the road.
and all the way down to East Cascade here.
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
what I thought. Thank you.
I was looking through the list of suggested plants, and I know some of them are on our, prohibited plant list for firewise landscaping. Again, we're not, at least here, very close to any facilities or buildings, because that's really more hinges on proximity to facilities, but just wanted to throw it out there of, this might be a good opportunity to just make sure that we're using plants that are more firewise. And I don't know if that will make things more expensive or less, but just kind of as an example for the community. It's
there-
just an idea.
There was actually some conversation about that with the Public Works Board.
Okay.
And all of the plants that are on our prohibited list, I think are over 30 feet away.
Yeah.
And one of the concerns that they had was that we don't want to take some of these plants altogether out of our community, and that these are in place for, wildlife and continuing, I don't know, if bees use them, et cetera. And one of the other points they made is that these are going to be on an irrigated system, so they will have less chance of drying out. I mean, they'll be monitored. Just bringing that back from what they were talking about.
Well, I'm glad to hear that was a point of conversation.
Yeah, they were actually pretty engaged on that.
Okay.
I have a question. Does that include the big gully out there? I mean, I kind of looked at the map, but I couldn't understand which plants went where. What's kind of going in the big drainage hole there?
So nothing down at the bottom, obviously. That's already rock mulched, so there'll be plantings around the upper tier of it.
Just kind of around the hole.
Boulders, trees, yep,
Okay,
yep.
that was that's
Whole idea is to try to make that disappear over time.
right.
Yeah.
That was one of the questions I got multiple times,
Yep.
just out in the public, was, are we going to obscure that a little bit? And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
I told them yes, but I wanted to hear it in the public forum, obviously, so.
And the designers, I mean, they wanted to go with more native species, so you're gonna see a lot of pine trees, western larch, mountain mahoganies,
No junipers.
no junipers, there's plenty out there already.
30 years from now, it'll look so awesome.
No spruces.
Thank you.
And this is, Paul, you mentioned that the planting will be in the spring timeframe. When would it be completed?
So depending on when the contractor can mow in and get everything established to be ready for planting, that'll determine what gets planted this fall and what they're not comfortable with going over the winter and having a high mortality rate, because they are responsible for warranting these plants for a year. That's the point that will determine when we're going to come back and finish the planting in the spring. And it really is dictated by the frost in the ground.
Okay,
So as soon as the frost breaks, you start getting some warmer nights, that we're getting out of those below 20 to below 25 degree nights. then we can start thinking about putting plants back on the ground. Mid-April, probably.
Every time we frost on the ground, I think about having to go down 6 feet in Maine when I lived there. So we don't have to do that here, thank God.
Paul, just to make sure I understand that, so I'm looking at the, I guess it's the bid where it breaks down each line item. And so these numbers include labor?
Absolutely.
Okay. so
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure, because I saw a couple numbers there and I'm like, wow, okay.
No, it
It's-
includes the
oh,
purchase of the trees,
Yep.
but what it takes to plant the trees.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, back to the point you were making about the irrigation, and so this is I need some dumbing down. The PEX versus PVC. You said that PVC is less expensive. I mean, but is there like a quality differential there that we'd be paying for with the PEX that would be worth it?
Absolutely. I mean, PVC over the time, you got to glue the joints, the glue can fail. Typically you get 20, 30 years out of it. And so you have not only that, it's more brittle over time. And if you don't get, for whatever reason, we've had it happen before, a zone or two not blown out, or it gets recharged after you blow it out, you're not breaking, shattering your main lines, because that PEX will withstand some frost. So
Thank you.
we look at this as, you know, a landscape that we're gonna have forever, right? So what can we get
Oh.
the best life cycle out of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I just wanted to make sure I was,
Yeah, we're not
Tracking that.
putting it in the ground and then selling it to somebody and saying it's your problem. No, this is, we gotta live with it.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I have a 3-foot hole in my yard. That's a testimony to it because the backflow that I had put in 3 years ago is already cracked and leaking, and I have to have it redone again 3 years later, so.
And I've had PVC break at the meter at my house.
So anyway,
And when it breaks, it shatters typically from one end to the other. It's not a clean break, and typically it's multiple breaks. It's not just one when it freezes.
And did the contractors give you any more details of why the bid came in so high? I mean, are there specific pain points financially right now?
Really, the biggest thing that came out of that was time of year, late in the season. You know, questionable weather, potentially 2 mobilizations.
Mm.
Yep.
Okay.
Schedule's already full. Type of deal, trying to get aggressive to go for it. Yeah, I mean, we're paying for that. Definitely.
Okay.
at what time do we address the 78,000 supplemental budget change? When do we do that?
I think when we have a chance to value engineer this with the contractor, start working through the procurement process and seeing where we can get credits, where there's some cost savings, and then we can dial in that number better for that supplemental budget. So 78 is obviously worst case scenario.
Right.
We're gonna be looking at getting that down as much. as
So
can.
we probably won't even, we're not gonna know for a little while what the number's gonna be, and B, we probably wouldn't do it till
March,
spring
April
anyway. Yeah,
At that point,
right.
when they're getting ready to remob in and they can see what is going on with the pricing.
Just legally, we have to do it before the end of the fiscal year, is that correct?
Potentially.
Yeah.
We have other capital projects that are slated for this fiscal year, Adams being a big one. So, yeah, we usually wait till the end of the fiscal year to see what we need to reconcile. And
Yeah.
and
Just
that's
wanted to
what
make
we'll-
sure that was clear to the public as well. So,
Sure.
Right. Any other questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to confirm on the actual circle. Right now, what I'm seeing here is, looks like 4 plant beds. Closest to the actual street. So we're reserving space for future art. at the
Yeah, so
top.
we're just basically landscaping permanently the lower 6 feet all the way around.
Okay,
But then we'll put some rock mulch over the top, just to keep the dirt down.
yeah,
Yeah, try to keep some erosion from happening, make it look better until the art gets put there.
okay. Is there?
Try to do it in a way that we're not throwing away landscaping as much as possible when you go in and set up the art piece.
Right. Is there power in that circle?
Conduit. So we have conduit coming in from all four quadrants. And then obviously power that runs the street lights. There will be a circuit for our irrigation.
Right, anything else? Okay, do I have a motion?
I move to award a public improvement contract to Rickabaugh Construction for the Sisters US 20/Locust Landscape Project in an amount not to exceed $248,477.73 and authorize the city manager to execute the contract.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right, no nays? All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Next up, we have IGA City and URA intergovernmental agreement. Jordan.
Thank you, Board Chair. This is actually kind of a unique item and one that may change kind of how urban renewal meetings look going forward. As you know, we're the same agency, same staff and same board, right? The urban renewal agency, the council, sits on that board. Your city staff also perform all the functions for the urban renewal agency. What this intergovernmental agreement does is kind of solidifies that relationship, but actually makes it more efficient so that the city can now sign contracts like the landscaping contract, construction contracts. We do all the procurement for the agency. Instead of running that through an urban renewal agency meeting, we can do that through the city council, which again, the same individuals, the same staff. This just makes this, official that we can save those efficiencies and run these meetings a little bit better rather than having to have a 5-minute meeting to approve a small contract and things like that. You're basically giving the city that responsibility, which again, are the same people, same staff, same process. And the urban renewal agency would still approve a budget, right? Still have to meet, pass minutes and have a separate budget committee and things like that. But the day-to-day business would be done by the city staff on the city side instead of having to put on 2 different hats for every single little item that the urban renewal agency does, which at this point, we only have a couple projects left. But I think as we get into like the Adams project, some of other small projects that we have left in the urban renewal agency, it'll be a lot more efficient for us just to have the city council be able to process those contract approvals and give us authorization as city staff acting on behalf of the urban renewal agency.
Is this done elsewhere?
It is, and actually this came up because we've had a lot of these meetings lately to talk about things like roundabout art and some of our other projects coming up in the urban renewal plan. We were talking with our legal services, said, hey, one idea is that you can execute these IGAs, which cities have started to do, just to make this whole problem a little bit easier, right? Because you're talking about policy on one hand, but also, you're talking about policy as an urban renewal agency when a lot of people in the public and stuff may be confused by that, and it just simplifies that process.
And so how would that show up in a city council meeting as an agenda item? Would it be labeled URA? How would it be labeled? So that it
probably
would be
in the-
differentiated to the public between the business of the URA and the business of the city council.
We would be executing the contract as city, but I think we would say on behalf of the urban renewal agency. Right.
So for instance, what we just discussed with this project, would that be something that we could embed in the, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Even
in the
some of that,
budget.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if we have to come back for a budget supplement, then we would have to do that as an urban renewal agency. But in terms of approving the contract and authorizing the city manager to execute that contract, that could be done in the city council meeting.
I move to approve an intergovernmental agreement for administrative services with the city of Sisters.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
No nays? Okay, it passes. Any other business? Got about 5 minutes.
No, but
Right.
thank you for bringing that kind of efficiency to us. I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense.
It's helpful for us too.
Yeah,
Thank you.
well,
It was our legal staff that asked you about it, or did
We
you?
brought it up and
You
they
brought it up,
offered that
okay.
as a solution, so.
Well, still good. That's good.
Yeah.
I think it's an efficiency and it's just one less meeting or 2 less meetings, maybe. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right, well then I will adjourn this meeting and we will start our workshop at 5:30.